Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to start off giving all praises, all blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect men, pushing this word in all truth and in sincerity, risking life and livelihood in so doing, especially in these days and times. All right, and shalom to the women and children who watch and who learn. All right. Now, this is a big one right here. All right. This is a big one. Okay. So you Babylonian Barbies and Kens, all right, you need to listen up, because a lot of you Babylonian Barbies and Kens, you run to the SPLC, which is the Southern Poverty Law Center, and then you try to make a claim, using the claim that the Southern Poverty Law Center has used against the Hebrew Israelites. Okay. And so I'm gonna let them let you know what's going on. And this is USA Today. All of the major news agencies are reporting on this. Okay.
Can you kind of explain, could people face charges here, or is this the indictment and you're done?
So, yes, I mean, as we said, this investigation is very much ongoing. And today, the grand jury returned an indictment against only one entity, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and we'll go from there. But as you'll see from the indictment itself, it should be obvious from the indictment that the investigation is ongoing.
And I just want to make sure I understand. You're alleging that the Southern Poverty Law Center was paying the leaders of KKK and other groups to continue their operations? Is that?
I'm not alleging it. The grand jury returned an indictment that says that. And so what the investigation found, according to the indictment that was returned today, is that they were paying. So the Southern Poverty Law Center is raising money, asking folks to give them money to dismantle racism, and over a very long period of time, they were using some of the money they raised from donors to pay to, they called them field, basically to informants, for information, for access, to just pay them for certain, to do certain things. And so, yes, that's exactly what the indictment charges.
I was wondering if this is going to expand perhaps to more groups. Perhaps there's been a lot of accusations about particular groups like the Patriot Front that get a lot of traction, and more so, is the government, or is this indictment, I should say, making the case that some of these matters where they've tried at great lengths to sort of make connections to people on the right, per instance. I mean, Charlottesville was very much associated by the media with being sort of like part of a right-wing kind of thing. They're like good people on both sides type of thing. I mean, are we seeing a sort of the Southern Poverty Law Center was trying to create narratives using these types of groups to shape American public opinion?
Look, I think what the Southern Poverty Law Center has said over the years is available for the world to see. It's on their website. It's in other forums. The indictment speaks for itself. I'm not going to talk outside the four corners of the indictment. It lays out what the grand jury found, and obviously there's a whole body of public information around what the Southern Poverty Law Center has done over the past several decades.
I mean, in some of these instances, these are groups that have been either their membership has been dismantled or they've definitely fallen out of public view. I'm just wondering the legal theory of how, these payments allegedly went on to actually benefit the groups. Did you see the money go to the groups themselves rather than just the individuals who were paid informants, essentially? And then I have an off-topic after.
So look, I want to be careful to keep any comments that we make inside the indictment. And so what the indictment lays out is is payments to individuals who had leadership positions within these organizations. If that's what the grand jury found, and so to the extent that those individuals receiving one received over $1 million, okay, to the extent over several years, to the extent that there's any link between that individual receiving the money and benefits to that organization, that's not.
So at this point, all right, I'm going to stop it there. Now, now, I'm not laughing because I'm entertained by this news, but I mean, this damn devil, man. I mean, this devil, man. He's the devil. All right, he is the devil, and you Babylonian Barbies and Ken niggas. All right, you have your head stuck up this damn devil's ass, man. Okay, so the Southern Poverty Law Center, all right, which has, named, groups like the Great Millstone, the ISUPK, the Sakari, all right, named them terrorist organizations. So, at this point, hey, it may even be the SPLC who are paying some of these guys to come with these crazy doctrines, because the SPLC seems to be getting up the money. All right, they're getting up money, and while they're trying to act like while they're trying to act like they're pro justice and pro equality. All right, they are the ones who are orchestrating such high pitches of racial and what would be the word, racial violence. All right, it's the Southern Poverty Law Center who are sponsoring these organizations. Okay, so let me get a scripture. All right, and again, this hey. So this is Job 13:4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value." All right. So, these groups were saying that the Hebrew Israelites were terrorist organizations. And the whole time they have been sponsoring individuals. All right. These people come up, okay, and they may get a buzz or a name, okay, and you wonder where do this money come from? Just like with the rap industry, okay, it's the same thing. You hear these corny rappers, okay, who are, they're promoting violence and the worst lewdest type of behavior, okay, that Babylonian Barbie and Ken want to listen to. Okay, but and then they get funded somewhere. Okay, you be like, man, that song was some total garbage, But here it is. Okay, the artist is getting millions, hundreds of thousands, and then millions. Okay, to push that song, and this is how the J-Man operates. Okay, this is how the J-Man operates. And so they're caught they're caught red-handed. Red-handed. All right. Caught red-handed, man.
not in the indictment, but because again, it's not that individual who's charged with a crime. It's that individual was a informant or what have you. And it's Southern Poverty Law Center that made those payments to the individual, but it wasn't, look, the payments were not made to these individuals in exchange for a service separate and apart from their work within these organizations. So, that's I think speaks for itself.
And just on an off topic, obviously you've read the Atlantic article that's now a subject of a defamation lawsuit brought by.
I absolutely did not read that article, but go ahead with your question.
I just, without, obviously it's in litigation now, have you separately just heard any concerns, given your supervision over the FBI director, about any problems with drinking?
I have a lot of concerns, and my concerns are completely around the anonymous reporting that comes forth constantly. That reporters have an obligation to report, and they have due diligence that they're supposed to do. And when an entire article is based on anonymous sources, and there's things in the article suggesting, for example, apparently that senior DOJ personnel were informed of something. That's me. I wasn't informed. No one called me about that. So, listen, I did not read that article. It is a separate litigation, but I've already spent too much time talking about it. Next question. Go ahead.
On that, Todd, I'm sorry. The FBI director is on camera with the U.S. Olympic hockey team chugging a beer. I mean, do you think that that's appropriate conduct for the FBI director?
That has nothing to do with the article. I mean, look, there's complete hit pieces, and you guys are in this business, and you know what they look like, and the fact that you're asking repeated questions about them almost as an admission of such. But when you have a bunch of people who are hiding behind closed curtains, saying things but not willing to say it publicly, and there's certain parts of the article that are blatantly false because apparently I was told something that I wasn't. It's suspicious. In the back.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Attorney General. Can you explain again what the fraud is here exactly? Are you saying it's illegal for the SPLC to pay money to people that are in hate groups, or something about the way this was done makes it illegal? Because it's not automatically illegal, is it?
No, that's right. It's a good question. So, and again, I summarized the indictment, and it's now public for everybody to read. But the Southern Poverty Law Center is a 501c3. Okay, they're required to, under the laws associated with a nonprofit, to have certain transparency and honesty in what they're telling donors they're going to spend money on, and what their mission statement is, and what they're raising money doing. And so, as the indictment points out, there's different ways that they raise money, and in no fundraising efforts that the investigation found did they say, oh, and by the way, we're going to give $1 million to the Ku Klux Klan. So that's fraud. So that's wire fraud. So, and then the bank fraud part of it is you have KYC, you have an obligation to tell your financial institution what the corporation or the entity that you're opening an account for does. And the allegations in the indictment are that these were fictitious companies that were set up, and so there was certain information.
So the SPLC is just they're just a criminal. That's the J-Man. Okay, that's the J-Man organized crime. Okay, it should be a RICO. All right, put out on this, man. Okay, it should really be a RICO. But this is major news. All right. Yeah, so they were paying the Ku Klux Klan. All right, and again, no telling who else these people paid or paid off to teach whatever or push whatever doctrine or agenda that they want pushed. Okay, they're pushing whatever agenda that they want pushed. So, Lord willing, hey, you can go and look at this this article, SPLC indictment. Okay? Judge DOJ leaders face questioning. Okay? So hey, Lord willing, you were edified. Till next time, Shalom.